On July 29, 2024, Southport, England was forever changed by a shocking act of violence. Axel Rudakubana, a teenager once involved in musical theater, committed a brutal attack that left 3 young girls dead and 10 others injured. As the trial unfolds, we dive into the psyche of this unlikely assailant and explore the ripple effects of his actions. Join us for an in-depth journey into a crime that rocked a community and sparked nationwide conversations.
The small town of Southport, Merseyside, was known for its tranquil seaside charm, but on July 29, 2024, it became the site of a shocking crime. Axel Rudakubana, a 17-year-old, was accused of committing a heinous act at a local dance studio. The attack occurred during a Taylor Swift-themed dance class, a setting meant for joy and creativity. Axel was born in Cardiff to Rwandan parents and later moved to Banks, Lancashire. Neighbors described him as a quiet and introverted child. Despite his reserved nature, he participated in musical theatre and was featured in a BBC Children in Need promotional video at age 11. However, behind this seemingly normal facade, there were signs of trouble. Reports indicate that Axel had been diagnosed with autism and was experiencing difficulties in communication. His relationship with his family had become strained, and he withdrew into himself. Friends and acquaintances noticed changes in his behavior, but no one could have predicted the violence that would unfold. On the morning of the attack, Axel entered the dance studio armed with a curved blade kitchen knife. The chaos that ensued was unimaginable. 3 young girls lost their lives, and 10 others were injured. The attack left the community in shock, struggling to comprehend how such violence could erupt in their midst. Authorities swiftly responded to the scene, and Axel was taken into custody. Initially, his identity was protected due to his age, but as the case gained national attention, the court decided to lift reporting restrictions. This decision aimed to prevent misinformation and address the growing public interest in understanding the assailant. The motive behind Axel's actions remains unclear. Merseyside police have stated that the incident is not being treated as terror-related, leaving many questions unanswered. As the investigation unfolds, the community grapples with grief and fear, searching for answers and healing. In the days following the attack, investigators worked tirelessly to piece together the events leading up to the tragedy. Axel Rudakubana's background and behavior became focal points in understanding what drove him to commit such a horrific act. Detectives conducted interviews with family, friends, and anyone who might provide insights into his state of mind. The police examined Axel's online activity, searching for clues that might explain his actions. They found he had been increasingly isolated, spending long hours on the internet. Some reports suggested that he had encountered disturbing content, but no clear links were established to explain the attack. Forensic teams meticulously analyzed the crime scene, gathering evidence that would be crucial in court. The dance studio, once filled with laughter and music, was now a site of sorrow and loss. Each piece of evidence was carefully documented, building a case against Axel that would withstand scrutiny in the courtroom. The media played a significant role in shaping public perception of the case. News outlets provided continuous coverage, fueling speculation about Axel's motives and the circumstances surrounding the attack. Social media was flooded with opinions and theories, some grounded in fact, others fueled by fear and misunderstanding. Authorities faced the challenge of managing public emotions while ensuring a fair and thorough investigation. Community leaders and law enforcement urged calm and patience, emphasizing the importance of allowing the justice system to work without interference. Despite the overwhelming public interest, the police remained tight-lipped about specific details, focusing instead on gathering a comprehensive understanding of the incident. Their priority was to provide answers to the grieving families and ensure that justice was served. As the case moved to trial, the courtroom was filled with tension and anticipation. Axel Rudakubana, now 18, faced charges of murder and attempted murder. The trial was set to be a defining moment, not only for the families of the victims but also for the broader community seeking closure. Prosecutors presented a detailed account of the events, supported by forensic evidence and witness testimonies. They painted a picture of a young man troubled by personal demons, whose actions resulted in unspeakable tragedy. The defense, however, argued that Axel's mental health struggles played a significant role in the incident, calling for understanding and leniency. The trial attracted widespread media attention, with reporters documenting every development. The public followed closely, eager to understand the motivations behind the crime and the legal proceedings that would determine Axel's fate. The courtroom drama captivated audiences, raising important questions about mental health, responsibility, and justice. Family members of the victims provided emotional testimonies, sharing the impact of their loss and the enduring pain caused by the attack. Their stories highlighted the human cost of violence and the ripple effects that extend beyond the immediate tragedy. Throughout the trial, Axel's demeanor was scrutinized. Observers noted his quiet composure, contrasting sharply with the horrific nature of the crimes he was accused of. This paradox fueled ongoing debates about his mental state and the appropriate response to his actions. The jury faced a daunting task: to deliver a verdict that balanced justice for the victims with an understanding of Axel's psychological challenges. Their decision would set a precedent and potentially influence future cases involving young offenders with similar backgrounds. The aftermath of the trial prompted reflection on multiple levels. For the families of the victims, the verdict marked a step towards healing, though the pain of their loss would never fully fade. Community members rallied together, offering support and solidarity in the face of tragedy. The case also sparked discussions about mental health awareness and the importance of early intervention. Experts emphasized the need for better support systems for individuals struggling with mental health issues, particularly young people who may be at risk of isolation and violence. Law enforcement agencies reviewed their practices, exploring ways to prevent similar incidents in the future. Improved communication between schools, mental health professionals, and law enforcement was identified as a key area for development. The goal was to identify warning signs early and provide resources to address potential issues before they escalate. The community's response to the tragedy was marked by resilience and a commitment to positive change. Initiatives were launched to promote mental health education and provide resources for those in need. Support networks strengthened, reflecting a collective determination to prevent future tragedies. The media's role in the case was also examined, with calls for responsible reporting that balances public interest with sensitivity to those affected. Journalists and news organizations were encouraged to consider the impact of their coverage on victims' families and the broader community. As the legal process concluded, the focus shifted to healing and learning from the tragedy. The story of Axel Rudakubana and the Southport stabbing became a catalyst for change, highlighting the complex interplay of mental health, violence, and community resilience.